Hey YouTube, welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. Today we're looking at the benefits of upgrading to the Tarkov EOD edition, why it's so overpowered early wipe, and asking is now the optimal time to take the plunge. Before we jump in, I just wanted to point out this is not a sponsored video. These are my own personal opinions based on my 3 years experience with the game and is purely to help you decide if the upgrade is worth it to you. Firstly, let's quickly address the elephant in the room. Is Tarkov EOD pay to win? I'm honestly not a big fan of the term pay to win. It's a very black and white statement, and for a game like Tarkov, the benefits are not that impactful during most of the wipe cycle. However, as I believe you will see in this video, that impact is massively magnified at the start of each wipe and will absolutely give you a noticeable advantage. Not so much in the initial tools you have to win more gunfights, but instead in the speed of the leveling progress you can make, which in turn allows you to make more rubles quicker and buy better gear. This magnified effect may really only last a couple of months, but should not be ignored. In terms of cost right now, the standard edition is approximately $45 with the Edge of Darkness at $140. These prices will vary depending on what region you're in. Before we talk about the game advantages, I want to start with time. Yes, your time. It has value, and the EOD edition allows you to make more progress in whatever time you have to play the game. Here are the main reasons why, which we'll be covering today. Secure containers. These are the locked containers at the bottom of your loadout, and when you die, none of the items in these secure containers are lost. Starter kit items. All of the packages come with some sort of guns, armour, food, meds, etc. with the EOD edition giving you the maximum amount of starter items. Stash size. This is purely the number of slots you have in your stash to be able to manage your inventory. Trader rep. This is tied directly to the progress with each trader and part of the leveling up process. And finally we'll touch on DLC, which comes with the EOD edition. The overriding factor on whether to upgrade will always be because of the cost of the upgrade and is it worth it to you personally, based on your financial circumstances and the time you have to spend on the game. So for example, I upgraded after just a couple of weeks after purchasing the standard version. I didn't understand the game and couldn't even kill scavs, but I knew it was going to be my main game for many months to come, and so I invested in the time I would save with the EOD edition. Some 2,000 plus hours later, and I would say I've certainly got my money's worth out of the extra $100 investment. The standard edition has 4 slots in the secure container versus the 9 in the EOD edition. That's 5 extra secure slots to utilise in every raid. There are 2 main benefits to this. Of course, it does allow you to take more items like meds, ammo, etc. into raid risk free, but actually this can be quantified by simple math. Let's say an average player has 100 PMC raids over the first 3 months of the wipe. Let's also say that the average value of S tier loot that can be sold to traders if we die is 40k per slot. That alone is 40k times 5 slots, guaranteed extra income per raid, which is equal to 200k rubles, even if you die. This is huge, especially in the first weeks of the wipe. Times that by 100 raids, then you've secured an extra 20 million rubles that you may not have been able to. Of course, I do understand you won't die every raid, but even if you die only 50% of the time, then it's still 10 million extra to spend on better gear. The second benefit of the secure container for me is of even more value. This is progression, especially during the first 15 levels before the flea is unlocked. To progress in Tarkov, you're required to collect a ton of items to use for hideout and barters. Basically important items for your progression that don't need to have the found in raid status. Having these 5 extra slots to guarantee not losing items for barters for early task keys like Tarkoni Director's Office or Dorms 206, or for upgrading the hideout with crafts for slavers, gas analyzers, 60 round mags is huge, and a huge time saver. There is nothing more frustrating than getting blocked from progressing because you don't have the item or key to complete a task. There are a number of these choke points early on, and the extra secure container space can impact this every raid. Think of all the time searching for items again that you lost just because you died and didn't have space to put them in the 2x2 container. On top of this, many of these hideout items are super expensive on the flea early wipe, so every bolt, light bulb, corrugated hose etc. that you guarantee extracting with will save you a ton of lost money as well as the time. There are 3 main benefits with the EOD starter kit. First up, cash. As well as the 500k all edition start with, the EOD comes with additional $100 and €500, which is approximately 150k rubles extra. You also get equipment which I will estimate would cost you around 700k rubles, As it is all usable or sellable, that's an extra 850k rubles right when you need it most at the start of the wipe. A second small but useful benefit is 2 items that can be used for early task crafts. You get 4 extra cans of beef, which you can use as part of the craft for the 15 chishonkas required for the general wares task, but more importantly you get 2 Kalak B hemostatics, which are used in the Salewa craft. These are useful because you can't buy them until Therapist level 3, and the shortage task blocks a lot of players early as everyone is searching for found in raid Salewas. Having to find just 1 syringe and 1 pile of meds to upgrade the med station before guaranteeing 2 crafted Salewas can really help. Finally, the level 4 armour, and either the RPK or in my opinion especially the MDR if you choose USEC, gives you a small but actual in-game advantage. Most players will at best be running 762x39 PS or 556x45 M855 ammo, which will often allow you to take at least 1 extra thorax shot, which may allow you to survive an extra raid or 2. Being able to full auto spray with very decent recoil control, with decent ammo right off the bat, for me is a benefit I'd look to use immediately where it would have the most advantage. I literally take it into the first raid I do on customs after the wipe. The standard account stash is 280 slots, with the EOD stash at 680 slots, so that's nearly 2.5 times bigger. For most, this might be the most beneficial advantage of EOD. Bear in mind you can upgrade the stash in the hideout over time, but you can only reach the full 680 slot upgrade after level 42 because it needs Ragman level 4 unlocked. Let's talk about cash first. Even if we assume that you're upgrading all the required hideout modules anyway, the actual cost of the parts needed to upgrade the stash to level 2, level 3 and then level 4 is approximately 30 million rubles. You could instead use this money to buy either better gear more often, or say upgrade the Bitcoin farm earlier and further to secure even more cash benefits, or maybe the air filtering unit to speed up your physical skills progression by 40%, which will improve your in-game performance. Also, it allows you to hold on to more items, which is especially beneficial early on when you don't have the flea market access. Keeping more high tier loot ready to sell on the flea market when you reach level 15 is a big cash boost and advantage. With a standard account, you're forced to sell most items to traders at a fraction of the value you would receive on the flea market. This again could amount to an injection of millions worth of cash just when you need it most. For instance, I use this to buy up all the task keys I'm missing, so I again don't get my progression blocked by tasks, by buying keys like RBST, cottage backdoor, etc., which are very common places which players get held up due to the massive cost of the keys. Speaking of progress, we can also factor in the massive time saved with all that extra space. Stash Tetris is real, and costs hours of time during early wipe. This time saved of course means your 2 to 3 hour gaming sessions can be mainly spent back in raids, making progress, making money, and therefore buying better gear. This affects all players, and even more so the casual players who have less time to play. Add this to the space to keep more found in raid items for later tasks, and we are seeing real progression benefits from having the increased stash size. I've recently started streaming our free Sherpa help days over on Twitch, so if you need help to get a task done, to have a door unlocked, or just hang out and ask questions, then the dates and the times are always in our Discord, which I've linked below. Trader Rep is a benefit that is probably the most overlooked, as it doesn't have a huge impact until you get stuck having to do annoying tasks to reach the trader reputation requirements, just to be able to buy your favourite gun or ammo for example. The EOD edition immediately starts each trader at a reputation of 0.2, which basically allows you to level up your character as you want, knowing that you won't get stuck having to do 4 to 5 Jaeger tasks in a row just to unlock his next level for instance. I've seen so many Reddit posts over the years about this, especially about Jaeger and Skier. This boost really negates the whole trader rep issue, which just makes the time spent on the game more fun, and again you can focus on the more progressive tasks. So let's summarise the benefits. Of course the one downside is the extra $90 that you'll need to pay for the EOD edition. If you see yourself playing Tarkov for the next couple of years, then the extra content of things like the DLC maps and now Arena means the cost has real tangible value, which is certainly worth the consideration. For me the real benefit is the time saving, increased progression and decreased frustration. Having approximately 50 million in cash to spend on better gear more often, especially the extra 10 to 20 million during the early levels, really has an impact. the feeling of always making meaningful progress even when I die due to the 5 extra secure container slots, as well as not wasting tons of hours in the stash moving items around instead of being in raid. The bottom line is, whilst I would prefer to subscribe EO Edition as pay to progress, I do believe, especially in the early weeks of the wipe, it is overpowered. This is because the ability to progress quicker and get more powerful gear is directly impacted by the contents of the EOD edition. I hope this video provided some value and at least gave you something to think about. If you've got any questions or thoughts about the EOD edition, then let me know down in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video and would like to support the channel for free, then taking a second to leave a like on the video and a comment for the YouTube algorithm really helps. Also, consider subscribing for more. Thank you for watching, good luck in Tarkov and take care.